Syracuse, UConn playing a game for the ages. You know what? Everyone got a whole lot older during this game, too. It took that long. You remember the first half? Stanley Robinson misses the dunk. We go the other way. Eric Devendorf blocked by Gavin Edwards. Get out of here. It stays in play. Back down court. And it's back to Robinson, the great windmill dunk throwdown. And these guys were tired after that. Look out. Eric Devendorf, three with A.J. Price's hand in his face. He's got some words for Price. Devendorf, he likes to talk on the court. Remember Wednesday against the Hall? In that same spot, he hits the three and has some words for Eugene Harvey. Back to Thursday, Devendorf continues to be heard on the scoreboard and in his opponent's ear. Syracuse leads by 2. Let's go to the second half. Tied at 54. Devendorf. Kid can shoot. He can talk, but he can shoot. He had 22. Johnny Flynn finds Arinze Unawaku for the hoop and the foul. Syracuse up 64-57, and they are pumped up. UConn's down 2. A.J. Price, the air ball with 2.5 left. But Stanley Robinson, the rebound and the score strong. Craig Austrie with just over a minute left. Got it. UConn's down 1 after the Austrie 3. UConn down 3. Hashim Thabit. Nice move by the big fella for the bucket. It's a 1-point game. UConn down 2. Under 10 seconds. Austrie in, then he pulls it back. Then he, not a great look. Kemba Walker, of all people, there for the putback. Tied at 71. Boeheim can't believe it. Walker's one of the smallest players on the court, and he gets the putback. 1 second left now. Deflected to Devendorf. For the win at the buzzer. Got it. Incredible shot. The only question is, does it count? Devendorf and the orange going cuckoo, but did he beat the clock? The refs are going to look at it. We'll show you another replay on this. Very tough to tell. The clock appears to go zeros with the ball still on the fingertips of Devendorf. The veteran officials, John Cale and Bob Donato, wave it off. No good. Let's go to the overtime. UConn would lead in the first overtime. Robinson, he had 28 points. One of 3 UConn players with 14 rebounds. Moments later, Andy Routens is going to answer. Leo's kid. That reminds me of something. Syracuse cuts it to 1. Syracuse down 2. Rick Jackson with 5 seconds left for the slam from Johnny Flynn. Tied at 81. Here's UConn. Under 5 seconds left. Chance to win it in the overtime. Kemba Walker for 3. Not even close. We'll go to a second overtime. UConn would lead in the second overtime also. There's a theme here. Here's Johnny Flynn now. The 3-point game and the foul made the freebie. Tied at 86s. 10 seconds left now, the second OT. Here's Flynn for the win. No, front of the rim. UConn the other way. It's Walker. His heave-ho won't go. We go to a third overtime. Tied at 87. Here in the third OT now. Jeff Adrian finds A.J. Price. Price hits the 3, so UConn had the lead in the third overtime. Stay with me on this, Pete. Yeah. Price, the drive, hits the jumper. UConn's up 6. Off the miss now. The beat there for the tip back. He had 19 and 14, and 6 of the Huskies, 16 blocked shots. Syracuse down 4 off the steal. Johnny Flynn to Paul Harris for the finish. 2-point game. 16 seconds left now, the third OT. Syracuse down 3. Johnny Flynn has the ball, but we flash back. 1981, the only previous triple overtime game in Big East tournament history. Leo Routens had the game-winning tip. Leo's son, Andy, knocks down a 3. Plenty of time left for UConn. A.J. Price with 6 seconds left and tied the third overtime. Misses. Adrian, a follow. He misses. We're going to go to a fourth overtime for the first time in Big East tournament history. UConn would have the lead, by the way, in the fourth OT.
Yeah.
But now, 16 seconds left, tied at 104. Price, no good. Routens, the rebound. Syracuse, the other way. Gets to Paul Harris underneath. Harris, from close range, misses. And you know what? He's going to get blocked that time. No whistle, no foul. Check the reaction from Boeheim. Can't believe didn't get anything on that, a bucket or a foul. We're going to go to a fifth overtime. And you know what, Matt? UConn had the lead in the fifth overtime.
Really?
But right now, final seconds, tied. A.J. Price He had 33 points in the game, but he didn't have 36. Jeff Adrian, a second chance, can't finish. You know, we're going to go to a sixth overtime.
Who led?
Tied at 110, sixth overtime. And you know what? It's funny you mentioned that. Andy Routens had 20, all but 2 of them on threes. That three-pointer gave Syracuse their first lead in overtime. Their first lead since there were 2.5 minutes left in regulation. Now, up 5 in the 6th OT. Paul Harris down low, finished with 29 and 22. The Orange go on to win in 6 overtimes. They had 8 players fouled out, so a whole ton of inexperienced players were on the court at the end. Simply amazing. Syracuse outscores Connecticut by 10 in the 6th OT to advance to the semis, the Big East Championship. Will they have anything left for that game? Syracuse went 40 of 51 from the free throw line, including 23 of 26 in OT. UConn just 24 of 42. Time of game, 3 hours, 46 minutes. Factor this in, only 3 of 18 Yankee Red Sox games went that long in 2008. Syracuse has now eliminated UConn in 4 of the last 5 Big East tournaments. Wow.
Mountaineers, West Virginia, up against defending tourney champions Pittsburgh. Much more economical game, if you will. Levance Field, the alley-oop to Sam Young for the big finish. He had 15 Panthers out running. Just before halftime, tied at 34. Devin Ebanks misses the shot. John Flowers is there for the tip, and Bob Huggins like, yeah, that's good. I know it's good. I don't need to wait for that. Michael Stevens concurs second half. On the break, Daryl Brandt leaves it for Ebanks for the dunk, and he is long, like you need multiple O's in that word. Jermaine Dixon, wrong place, wrong time. Ebanks finished with a career high 20 points, 45-37 WVU. Ebanks to a cutting Alex Ruoff for the reverse. West Virginia up 8. Ruoff had 18. Off the Sam Young miss, DeJuan Blair can't come up with the loose ball. Frustrating night for he and the Panthers, who were out-rebounded for the first time since January 25th when West Virginia out-rebounded. Blair got a tee, wound up fouling out 14 and 5. John Flowers with the 3 there. West Virginia has won 4 in the Big 12. Second-seeded Oklahoma, 7th-seeded Oklahoma State. Blake Griffin has owned the Cowboys. 29.5, 16.5, shot nearly 81% in their 2 wins over Oak State. Griffin with the light feet there, 17 and 19 for him. Sooners up 1 at the break. Byron Eaton spent a majority of the game in the paint. The crossover there and the bump. Cowboys up 6 with the free throw. Marshall Moses now in a 2-point game, chasing Griffin. He's called for his 5th foul, so he's done. Got to leave the floor in a timely manner. The emotions get the best of him. Bob's Juan Patillo on his way to the bench. That's a technical foul. Coaching staff lets him have it. He was scoreless in 8 minutes, hurt his team. The free throws tied up the game at 64. 66 all now, and Eaton, there he is in the paint again. Pull-up jumper goes. 16 points, 7 assists. Cowboys up by 2. Sooners down 1. Lob pass by Willie Warren floats to Tony Crocker. Funny-looking play. It worked. Sooners up by a point. On the other end, Eaton drives, misses. No, James Anderson working the boards. He's fouled by Griffin. An 83% free throw shooter said Eaton came up to him and said, big game James doesn't miss free throws. You know what? Eaton was right. He hit the first to tie it at 70. The second is true as well. Pokes up by 1. 2.3 seconds to go. Mark that. Taylor Griffin to little brother Blake Griffin. He's got a look, not really a 3-point shooter. It doesn't go, and you think the game is over, except check the clock. 2.3 seconds. We had stuff happen there in the interim. The game should be over, right? Not only bedlam, we've got clock chaos. The officials check it. We ran a clock on it. Clock starts when the ball is touched, and clearly time should have expired. The officials looked over that replay as well. They ruled the same. Eaton and the Cowboys celebrating. They win 71-70. They head to the Big 12 semifinals.
All right, staying in that tourney. Round 2, Baylor's a 9 seed against the top-seeded Kansas. Lace Darius Dunn, a 3. Dunn had 24, and Baylor's leading 65-58. But Kansas, after all, they are Kansas. They come right back. Tyrell Reed hits the 3. Here's Collins, going to rattle home a 3 of his own. He had 16. Kansas trailing by 1. 30 seconds left. Kansas down 3. Collins for the tie. Not even close. And Baylor upsets the top-seeded Jayhawks 71-64. They advance.
Yeah, tough day for the top seeds in the Big 12. Missouri trying not to get tripped up by Texas Tech, and Mike Singletary, who went nuts against Texas A&M on Wednesday, is 43 points. He had 7 in the first half, 17 for the game. That seems more about right. Missouri down 2 in the second half. Damari Carroll hits the floater. Keep an eye on him. In fact, if you're in the front row, you should really keep an eye on him because he is headed your way. He's okay. Carroll drives and misses. JT Tiller there for the tip-in. Tigers are a much better second-half team. They press the heck out of you, wear you down. Tiller to Marcus Denman there for the layup. The lead swells to 13. Then it's Denman to Carroll. He had 19. Mizzou wins it 80-61.
Big East record.
6 overtimes earlier. It looked like Marquette and Villanova was the best game of the early part of the Big East tournament. Corey Fisher to Dante Cunningham. Nova up by 13, but Marquette hanging around. Maurice Acker penetrating. He'll kick it to Jarrell McNeil, who is locked and loaded for 3. And he's still locked and loaded. Wesley Matthews finds him. Different spot, same result. He had 15. Golden Eagles pull within 4. Marquette's still down 4. 3 minutes left. McNeil draws a crowd. 5 Villanova players converge. He finds Maurice Acker for the 3. Marquette executing against the zone. They're within 1. Lazar Hayward. Villanova back up 74-72. Knocks down the 3. Reggie Redding bounce pass. Dwayne Anderson back door. Jay Wright wants to make sure this thing counted before the buzzer. Redding said he was looking for Scotty Reynolds. They had him guarded, so he had to improvise. Watch how it went down as Villanova takes the lead. Yep, it's good. This is how he got open. McNeil, oh, he turned his head for just a moment. Anderson's only bucket of the game is a buzzer beater. Villanova outscored by 15 in the second half, wins.
Let's just say Providence and Louisville wasn't as close. Keno Davis, Providence team nearly matched the Big East tournament record with 26 turnovers. They got some bubble issues. Edgar Sosa, long alley-oop to Earl Clark. Jeff Xavier, the steal up ahead to Wayme Efajuku in traffic and the foul. Efajuku had 17 and 6. Providence keeping it close. Sherrod Curry, bounce pass, nice inside of Jonathan Cawley. Makes the quick hook there, but just too much Louisville. Earl Clark, turnaround, 2 of his game-high 24, then Louisville pulling away. In transition, Terrence Williams ahead to Clark. Louisville, their 8th straight win. They've won 18 of 20. Arizona's streak of 24 straight NCAA tournament appearances could be tested. A win over Arizona State would certainly help. Derek Glasser, nice behind-the-back lead for James Harden. We're tied at 3rd. Let's go to the second half. Arizona State's up 3. Rehard's Kupchik's nice pass to Jeff Pendergraft. Arizona State was up 42-37. Now they're up 10. Harden gets the lead pass and going to slam it home, end the game, and Arizona. Harden had 27. Arizona State goes on to win. Pac-10 semifinal matchups are set. Top-seeded Washington faces Arizona State. Last time they met, the Huskies escaped with a 3-point win in OT. Then it's UCLA, Washington State. The Bruins have won 2 of the past 3 tourney titles.
You know, Kentucky's got an NCAA tournament streak as well, 17 in a row, but they're going to need to play deep into the SEC tournament to make it 18. There's Jody Meeks. He can fill it up, and you know what? He's a giver as well. Finds Patrick Patterson there. Patterson had 15 points and 14 boards. Meeks playing the D, gets his hand in on the inbound pass, picks it up. They'll finish on the other end. Kentucky up by 9. Up 7. Full court pressure from the Rebels. Inbound to Patterson. He finds Meeks, and this is really what he does best. And 1. He had 25. Kentucky wins it by 13. They'll get LSU next. Florida now faces Auburn in a game many believe will amount to a play-in game for the tourney. There are 2 of the 8 teams left with a shot at the SEC title. Big Ten, Northwestern, Minnesota, both teams needed it. Second half, game tied at 47. This is Michael Thompson into the paint. Floater, high off the glass. He had 8, Northwestern up 2. Ralph Sampson III into the lane, bump and bucket. Minnesota up by 1. There's Dad. Ralph loves it. Just over 3 minutes to go. Minnesota still up by 1. Lawrence Westbrook into the lane. Minnesota up by 3. They win at 66-53. All 14 of Westbrook's points came in the second half. Minnesota moves on to face top-seeded Michigan State Friday at noon Eastern on ESPN. That's followed by Ohio State and Wisconsin at 2 Eastern, a matchup of the last two schools to win the Big Ten tournament.
Clemson, and that's Buffalo Bills superstar Terrell Owens. Have you sorted that out in your head yet?
Yeah,
Buffalo
he
Bills,
got the number, too. He's 81.
Terrell Owens. Wonder what he paid for that. Meet Lewis Clinch. Clinch nails the three there. Tech's pulling away in the second half. They're up 10. It's Clinch again. Georgia Tech stretches the lead to 13. Clinch had 5 threes. Still over a minute left. They're only up 4. Zachary Peacock to Clinch, of course. And the foul. Clinch is clutch. 32 is a new career high. Georgia Tech.
And scores, regains momentum. Northwestern still out of the tournament.
And Cats will have to try it again next year. Iowa and Michigan. Manny Harris uses the screen, dumped it to Deshaun Sims. Michigan was rolling early, and then they rolled often. Harris Sims, punch. Harris 18-7 rebounds. Sims had 27. 73-45, Michigan did itself a favor trying to get into the tournament. Indiana and Penn State. Penn State didn't hurt itself. Nittany Lions, Taylor battle. Looking for Jeff Brooks.
Yeah, Penn State played just who they needed to today, and they kept themselves alive. And now tomorrow they got Purdue, and if they can win that game, there'll be no question.
66-51. I think Penn State, if I were on the committee at the moment, things could change. For instance, Maryland could make a run in the ACC against NC State. Grievous Vasquez. Watch the attention that Vasquez gets, and that leaves Eric Hayes by himself, TB.
And Hayes made a couple of big shots in the first half when Maryland was really in trouble to get them back, get them collected, and they got close at the half, and everything was good after that.
You see Vasquez showing good leadership, trying to motivate his team, kind of a dead, empty arena. But he did a tremendous job, 17, 10 assists. Maryland workmanlike. They got Wake tomorrow.
5-point victory there. This is a bubble-busting type of game. Seth Greenberg and the Hokies against Miami. Jack McClinton couldn't get anything going, Doug.
They did a solid job of pressuring every time he caught the basketball, and he's much better off the catch than he is off the bounce. They forced him to his weaker left hand. He only had 9 points, a highly frustrating afternoon.
7 turnovers. Lorenzo Hudson did a great job there. Malcolm Delaney only made 1 field goal. He missed that layup, but J.T. Thomas was there to clean things up for him. Virginia Tech rolls 65-47, and now the Hokies get a shot in North Carolina as they try to shore up that resume, and maybe a Tar Heel team without Ty Lawson.
Yeah, and that would really help Virginia Tech, but they've had a lot of hard luck this year. They lost 5 games at the buzzer. You know, any 1 or 2 of those would have changed it around completely. Now they got to beat Carolina to get in.
Dukies get another shot at BC.
Can't lose games for Billy Donovan's team, and they have a shot at Auburn after a victory in the second round. Walter Hodge had a nice game. He's really finished the season strong.
The last of the Mohicans, Walter Hodge.
He's finished his 9th season strong, it appears.
Yeah, it does appear he played for Norm Sloan.
Wasn't he the guard with Shinsis?
I think he was. He worked with Vernon Maxwell and Andrew Moulton, too. There's Calathis to Werner in there. Florida has no issue. 73-58. They're 23.